Hey guys, Scott back again with new beer dissection video for you. Depending on when you're watching this video, in my library of beer dissection, I have a few beers from the band Rush from the 70s and the 80s. I'll get to it, but Rush is in collaboration with Henderson Brewing Company out of Canada. And my what is styles, if this interests you, especially by the end of this video. I did one on a golden ale. It was a rye golden ale. The first video I did from Rush. I probably have all this popping over my shoulder. Just the other day, I did one on moving pitchers. It was also in a 375 milliliter bottle. That was a off a base Belgian Belgian blonde beer that was kind of with a Pinot Noir must. Again, around 11.9% alcohol, very good. So this is the second one of their Belgian series. I'll call it the Belgian series because this one is also based from a Belgian blonde beer. Okay, so I'm assuming it's also using dextrose. It's probably using some Belgian form of yeast. The Moving Pitchers was using a Saison yeast. This one's probably using another one that can kind of hold up to the alcohol because this one's coming in at 12.9%. Now, interesting, similar to the Moving Pitchers, which use this Pinot Noir must. And if you've seen that video already, I explained that I'm like, I don't know wine as well as I know beer, but I was trying to understand what Pinot Noir must is. This one has a Riesling must. So that this one called Rush Signals has what they call a Riesling must. So I don't know if it's like a little shot of wine or I don't know, puree or something like that, but figuring it's based on the Riesling wine. This particular one, Rush Signals, okay, is using a lot of apples supposedly. I guess either in the mash they're putting it in there. I don't get the brewer's recipe, but and I'm sure they're using some type of two-row or pale malt and things like that. Possibly dextrose too. Remember, with a lot of Belgian style beers, they use some regular sugars, whether it's Belgian light candy sugar or dark candy sugar, because the yeast will ferment out all the sugar and just leave alcohol and some other, of course, other flavors, and doesn't leave a lot of residual sweetness behind to make the beer too sweet or cloyingly sweet or too heavy. Usually these beers are a little bit lighter bodied. Okay, so this one, like I said, is called Signals. Okay, it says limited edition. Looks like it was bottled in 2022. They do say these can be aged up to 5 years. I'm sure as long as you have them in a cool, dark place. The Moving Pitchers seem to be fine. Again, that was another Belgian blonde base beer, I believe, with a Pinot Noir must and dextrose and things like that. And then again, remember this one uses a Riesling must. Again, I still have to find out what must really stands for in the wine industry. If you do know this and you are watching the video, just chime in underneath under the comments because couldn't quite figure that one out. So again, the band was in collaboration with Henderson Brewing Company out of Canada to make this beer as well as my other Rush beers. And even though I enjoyed Rush in the last 20, 30, 40 years between the 70s and 80s, I can't say I'm as much of a diehard fan as some other people are. But so I couldn't name off I thought his name was on here. Geddes, I think is his name, the lead singer, okay, from Rush. And that's it. So this is a 16.9 ounce bottle, Rush Signals limited edition via Henderson Brewing Company in Canada. Okay, so not too much more than that. Again, I probably don't need to put the bottle in front of the screen because I probably have it spinning over my shoulder. But let's crack this bad boy open. Okay. All right. So I'm going to expect, and from just listening to that, I'm expecting that this is going to be a highly effervescent, a lot of carbonation in this beer. I may not have mentioned it in the Moving Pitchers video, but it is bottle conditioned, meaning that there's going to be some yeast sediment at the bottom of the bottle. Do what you want. You can pour it, look for the yeast to come up as you're pouring it, and then back off if you don't want the yeast. But something like this that's only been bottled probably a year ago, you're not going to probably get the autolysis of the yeast, so you're not going to get those meaty off flavors. I would say, you'd probably be okay just pouring it in like you're drinking a Hefeweizen. Okay, so let's pour this out. Now, the Moving Pictures was using a little Vienna malt. Again, I didn't see, or it wasn't advertised as well as that beer, the entire grist. Okay, let's take a look at this. It looks very similar to the Moving Pictures. Okay, you got a few inches of, dense white to light tan head foam on there. Medium gold, again, it looks almost exactly like the Moving Pictures, so I wouldn't be surprised if the grain bill was pretty much the same. This is kind of a medium gold. It's got a haze in there because if it's like Moving Pictures and like many Belgian beers, you get like a little malted wheat in there, which carries more proteins. Therefore, you get that little bit of a haze. Okay, but very good looking beer, all right? And you can see that head is almost looking like a meringue on top, and it's probably going to sustain itself like a lot of Belgian varieties. So let's take a sniff of the aroma. Yeah, woo, yeah, you definitely are getting apple. So they're not joking. This one, again, remember, this is the Signals made with apple as well as Riesling must. Okay, so I get apple, definitely fruit, apple, pear on the nose. You do also get the peppery phenols, which again are typical for Belgian yeasts. Okay, they will produce a lot of times peppery phenols. So when you smell it and take a taste of it, a lot of times you'll get like something almost like someone put a little coating of pepper on your tongue. Okay, but very good, very pleasant smelling. I can definitely, it does smell like you do have a Riesling. Again, this is sitting, like I said, at about 11.9%. So it's almost in wine territory anyway. So you definitely want to sip this. And that's probably where we're getting some of the alcohol aromas too. But the esters, apple, pear, apple makes sense because they're using apple in this. Peppers. On the malt, it's probably pretty neutral. I mean, I'm getting a little white bread, light toast, but that's about it. The phenols and the alcohol and the apples kind of dominate the aroma. Very good, but you can definitely tell you're in Belgium when you're smelling this because it has all those classic characteristics. If you're drinking like a Saison, Belgian Golden Strong, even some of your Trappist beers that are darker, like your doubles and triples and things like that. So it actually, mentioning that, it actually smells a little bit more like a triple, Belgian Trappist triple, like a Westmalle triple. Okay, guys, cheers. Whoa. Highly carbonated. I almost immediately get the alcoholic warmth on this. You kind of get like this candied orange in there, almost like it is close to a triple style versus a Belgian blonde style. There's some apples. It's a little tartness, almost like you got like a Granny Smith apple in there, because it is a little tart, especially on the back end. Definitely more medium body. The other Moving Pictures was probably a little more lighter body, even though they're both sitting around 11%. So they are probably using things to make this a little bit more lighter body, but this has more body to it than the Moving Pictures to it. So you definitely get a little bit more of like a kind of a mouth feel to it. Okay. But you still get those little peppery phenols again. Like if you put a little dab of pepper on your taste buds. Apple, tartness, little orange, citrus type of thing. So this is almost drinking like a triple, like a Westmalle triple and things like that. I'm not going to say it maybe as good as a Trappist Westmalle triple, excuse me. But very good though. Okay. Like I said, highly carbonated. Again, I'm just going to put it at like kind of medium bodied. The other one, Moving Pictures, was more kind of medium, low body. This definitely's got more of a medium, maybe slightly above medium body to it. And there's a little bit more residual sweetness to this. So let's take a look at it again here. I'm starting to lose it. I got some pretty decent lacing there on the glass. Okay, so you kind of got that medium gold. So anyway, guys, I got to say another winner from Rush via Henderson Brewing Company up in Canada. I guess I would call this 3 for 3 with their beers. Their Golden Ale, which is a rye golden ale. Moving Pictures, which is another Belgian blonde like this. And this one, Signals. Okay, but I got to say, if you are kind of a beer aficionado and you like your Belgian beers, this drink's a little bit more like a triple. Because it has a little bit, maybe not so much on the aroma, but on the taste buds, it's got a little bit of that orange that you'll get from or the perception of orange. You know, they're not putting orange in there, but of like you do get in any triple, whether it's Westmalle, West-Vlaanderen, Rochefort, things like that. And again, medium, a little more fuller body than those beers too. Apple. Riesling, I mean, I'm not going to pick out a Riesling wine if they're using a Riesling must, they said, which again, I don't know if that's a little shot of Riesling in the finishing. The only characteristic I would say that was wine-like is because it's got a higher alcohol, closer to a glass of wine versus beer, a regular 12-ounce beer. But very good, guys. Something like this, again, would drink with good Belgian fare. You know, could be mussels, you know, even some German fare, even like some Wurst and pork dishes and things like this. Has enough bitterness, which I actually didn't comment on the bitterness, but enough carbonation to kind of cut through that. I mean, this is definitely more moderate bitterness. I didn't see the IBU units on this one. The Moving Pictures, I believe, was 20 IBUs. I'm sure this is very close to that if it is sticking along the Belgian style, around 20. So enough bitterness and carbonation definitely to cut through some pork dishes and Wursts and pork chops and things like that. But again, light enough that you're not drinking like this whopper of, you know, if you compare this to, say, your 10 to 12% double, triple IPAs, this is definitely drinking lighter, but there still is enough residual sweetness that it kind of keeps that body somewhere in that medium to medium high range versus the Moving Pictures, which was kind of like medium to medium low body to it. All right. But anyway, guys, very good one. Another one from Rush. Excellent. Again, you may have a hard time finding it. My friend Susan got this one for me, like the Moving Pictures. And so if you haven't seen that video, definitely take a look at that. She also had made me this bottle opener. So again, anyway, thank you, Susan. And guys, if you can find this in the States, I would definitely recommend any of the three from Rush and via Henderson Brewing Company. But you may have a hard time finding it. I don't know how she got it. She probably had it shipped to her. Anyway, guys, till next beer dissection video, have a great day. Take care.